How you doing, Wyatt? Good? Awesome. So today, we have some more people coming to join us. Excellent, thank you. So this morning I have a question for you. Have you ever been sad before? Yeah? Yeah, and in what ways do people show that they're sad? By crying? Yeah, that's a great way. Sometimes you think we make faces too that show that we're sad even if we don't cry? Yeah, a sad face? Well, that's a really good sad face. And sometimes we also complain about being sad to people, right? So there are a lot of ways that we can show that we're sad. And so is there anything that you've been sad about that you can remember? Yeah, that's okay. Yep. Yeah, sometimes it's easy to forget the things that we've been sad about. That's okay. But I have two stories I want to share with you about a time when I was sad when I was about your age. So when I was about your age, so you're 6.5. I was 7 when this first one happened. So I'm pretty close. But I was really into Pokemon cards. And I had just gotten one that I really, really liked. I liked it so much. It was a holographic Aerodactyl, if you wanted to know. But I had liked this card so much that I carried it around with me everywhere that we went when we were everywhere we went. And so I had taken this card with me when we went to run some errands in town at some stores with my parents. And we went to this one store that had this counter, and it had this little crack. So there's this counter. It was like a 2-part counter. And there's this little crack in the middle. You've seen that kind of counter before? And so I had my card, and I was kind of just bouncing it around, and then it hit that crack, and guess where it went? Right down in that crack. And there was no way anybody was going to get it. It still might be there, for all I know. But I was so sad that that Pokemon card that I treasured, that I loved, was gone. I lost it. Something similar happened to you a long time ago, too? Yeah? Yeah, so you used to like Pokemon cards, and you lost a favorite one a long time ago? Oh, it was a VMAX one. Oh, yeah, that's a bummer. I would hate to lose one of those. So that was one story of something that I lost that I was just really sad about. And I cried a lot. And so the second story I want to share is actually one that actually ended a little bit happier. But I had 2 cats when I was growing up, and they were indoor cats. So they weren't allowed to. Oh, you already know where this is going. Yep, you're right. The cat got out and got lost. It ran away from our house. And I was so sad that my cat's name was Simba. And we were so sad that Simba ran away, and we didn't know if Simba was going to come back at all. But luckily, Simba did come back. But in the time that we realized that Simba had run out of the house, until the time that Simba came back, I was so sad. I cried a lot. I didn't want to eat food. I didn't want to talk to anybody. But luckily, my cat decided just to walk back home, and there it was. Say that one more time. Yeah, I think my cat probably did go walk on the street and somewhere else, probably in the woods too, all over the place. But so today, the reason I share those stories is that when we lose things, it's okay for us to be sad. It's okay for us to be sad even when we don't lose things. Being sad is normal, and it's a good thing for us to show other people when we're sad. So in today's story, we actually hear a time when Jesus was sad. So Jesus was sad in our story today because one of his close friends named Lazarus had died. Now Lazarus was a close friend of Jesus, and Jesus loved him. And after Lazarus died, Jesus joined Lazarus and all of Lazarus' family, and everybody there was upset and sad about Lazarus dying. Now the story tells us that that's when Jesus cried. He wept because he was sad. But then after Jesus cried, Jesus prayed. And so after he prayed, and with God's help, the cool thing about this story was that Jesus was able to raise Lazarus from the dead. So today's story reminds us that sad things happen in life. They happen to everybody. And when those sad things happen, it's okay for us to feel sad about them and to cry about them. But Jesus, in his actions in our story today, also reminds us that our sadness is not supposed to be the end of the story. Sadness is not where our story ends. It's part of the story, and it's an important part of the story, but it's not where our story ends. So when we're sad, let's remember to do what Jesus did. When we're sad, let's ask God to join us in our sadness. Because when we invite God to join us when we're sad, then God can help us see and notice God's love and healing around us so that we can then share that God's love and healing with other people as well. Which can oftentimes, when we're able to do that, can oftentimes bring new life for those around us. And that's our good news today. So with that, I'd love for you to repeat after me in prayer, invite the congregation to join as well. Dear God, thank you for Jesus. Help us to remember that sad things happen to everyone. Please help us to invite you into our lives. Whenever we feel sad. So that we can remember that being sad is not the end of the story. We love you. Amen. All right. Thanks for coming up.